नमस्कार। आप सभी लोग अपने अपने घरों पर सकुशल होंगे तथा अपना ध्यान रख रहे होंगे। लेट्स स्टार्ट टू अवर टॉपिक। एज इन अवर प्रीवियस lecture we have talked about the vascular type of tissues, in which we have talked about their functions, their locations, and how they can be always help for the our body, even especially about the blood and the lymph. As well as we also talk about the reticular connective tissue and the pigmented connective tissue. Let's move to the next tissue, that is known as nervous tissue or the neural tissue. Especially if we can talk about this neural tissue, it is generally ectodermal in origin, and it is specialized receiving stimuli and conduct impulses for the controlling of the and coordinating by the body functions. Means without this nervous tissue, our body cannot be controlled or coordinated with different organs. If we can say that it can exerts the greatest control over the body's responsiveness and the changing of the conditions. And the neural tissue consists of the nerve cells and the packaging cells. Especially we talk about the packaging cells are called Schwann cells, as well as the peripheral nervous system, and the neuroglia cells is the central nervous system over there. Means generally we can say the packaging cells, as we can say Schwann cells, it is always in PNS, or in the neuroglia cells it is always in the CNS. If we talk about the part of this nervous system, especially they have the different things. Generally we can say the neurons, right? Means how these neurons can be acts over there. Especially if we talk about the neurons, means generally we can say neurons are the functional unit of the neural system, and these are excitable cells, and the neurons consisting of a cell's body, that is known as cytone, or we can say soma, and the fine protoplasmic process, that is called neurites, arising from the cell body. Means approx we can say, if we can talk about the number of these neurons, they are more than 100 billions in our body, right? And as we know that these can be always help for the receptions, integrations, transformations, transmissions of the impulses from one to another one. If we can talk about the different parts, especially the structures of this typical neuron, that we can say it is generally made with the help of the two things, that is nerve cells as well as nerve fibers. If we can talk about the nerve cells, that is the cell body, means the cell membrane, cytoplasm, and the nucleus, and the processes where this is found, that is nerve fiber, that is axon and the dendrites. Especially we can this cytone, means the cell body, right? That cell body generally it can always help to consisting, right? It can be always to contains the neuroplasm, that is known as cytoplasm, and a spherical nucleus, endoplasm, reticulum, mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosomes, lysosomes, fat globules, Nissal's granules, etc. Especially the Nissal's granules are probable to involve in the synthesis of the proteins into this cytoplasm over there, or in the cytone body of the neurons. If we talk about the another part, that is the neurites, right? In that particular neurites we can say that it can be always arises, you can say the process of rising from the neurons are called the neurites. Means when these different things can be arises from the neurons, that is neurites, or we can say these are the especially dendrite and the axon. Means the different dendrites can be found over there, as you have, if you memorize, especially on that particular condition, these are the dendrites one, and this is the axon one. So I think everybody already known about the structure of this neurons one, right? And we can say the single but dendrites may be vary from one to several. Means as you can see in the diagram, the number of dendrites are so many over there, these one, right? But if we can talk about the dendrites are usually shorter and the tapering process, and the axon is usually long process of the uniform thickness in the neurons one. So on the basis of that we can be classified their different mechanisms in different ways over there, right? So after that we can talk about the another thing that is known as nerve fibers. Right? What about these nerve fibers? Generally, the nerve fibers are elongated and the slender processes of the neurons which are formed by the enhancing of the axons and are spaced at least 15 to 20 nanometer occurs between the axolemma and the covering sheath. It is generally called as periaxonal spaces, or we can say it is on the depending of the covering sheath nerve fibers. They are generally two types are found. These nerve fibers are two types, especially we can say myelinated nerve fibers and the non-myelinated nerve fibers. First of all, we have to know about what about these myelinated nerve fibers. Mean myelinations over there. What is that myelinations? Especially as we can say an axon covered by the myelin sheath called the myelinated, right, or medullated nerve fibers, and the myelin contains lipids and proteins and water. Especially when the nerve fiber is always covered with the help of this myelin, or we get the myelin, that is known as the medullated or the myelinated nerve fibers. In that particular context, we can say the myelin contains lipid, protein, and water. So the medullary sheath serves as the insulating the layers, preventing the loss of energy of the nerve impulse during the passes along the fibers. I mean, whenever the nerve impulse passes from this nerve fiber, it can be always help for the preventing the loss of energy, insulating. It will act like an insulating layer. But on the other hand, when we talk about the second one, the non-myelinated nerve fibers, we can know that are non-myelinated or the non-medullated fibers which consisting an exit cylinder and the enclosed by the neurilemma and the connective tissues. It lacks medullary sheath and the appears grey in the fresh state conditions, as you can see in the this structure over there. Evenly, we can say these unmyelinated can be also so the different conditions, means due to such condition it can be lax medullary sheath and the appearing grey in the fresh state. On the basis of that their functions, they can be again classified into two categories, right? There we can say they are the afferent or the efferent nerve fibers. Means generally these nerve fibers are acting on the basis of non-myelinated nerve fibers. There are two types of nerve fibers, that is afferent nerve fibers or the efferent nerve fibers. As you know, the afferent nerve fibers means the sensory nerve fiber and the efferent nerve fiber means the motor nerve fiber. Means this sensory nerve fiber, we can say they can always help to carry the nerve impulse from the sense organ to the central nervous system, means to the brain and the spinal cord. Means this afferent or the sensory nervous system always helpful for the carrying the message from the sense organ to the brain or to the CNS or the central nervous system, especially to the brain or the spinal cord. But on the other hand, the second, that is efferent nervous fibers or the motor nerve fibers, they can be always carry the message, carry the nerve impulse from the CNS to the effector organs, directly we can say muscles or the gland, which can be always helpful for the acting over there in the body one. Right? So on the basis of this, these non-myelinated nerve fibers can be classified sensory as well as the motor neuron over there. Then there is another thing that these neurons can be again classified on the basis of their polarity, right? Especially on the basis of that, these polarity, the nerve fibers are especially four types. Number one is that is unipolar, bipolar, multipolar, and pseudo unipolar. Means generally in these all conditions they are classified, as you can see in the diagram. Right? As with the help of this diagram, you can easily understand that what are the multipolar and all these kinds of. Right? On the basis of this diagram, you can understand this is the unipolar, this is the bipolar, this is the multipolar, and this is the pseudo unipolar. Why it is called so? On the basis of these structures, on the basis of, we are talking about the nerve fibers. So generally nerve fibers are here, and there is only one side of that neuron, the nervous tissue fibers are found in that unipolar. When the two sides are they are found, they are bipolar. When the multiple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on, so we consider. But in this case, you can just see especially that in pseudo unipolar, there are two types of nerve fibers found over, but they are not directly attaching to this neuron one. So especially as we can say is that these structures of this polarity on the basis of these nerve fibers, they are unipolar, they are single process as I told you, and they are rare in the vertebrates. Bipolar, they are spindle in shape, right? What about this spindle shape? So many times you can learn about this spindle, especially whenever there is such a structure can be formed over there, right? So this structure is known as spindle. So this is the cytone and these are the nerve fibers over. So this is the bipolar of the right, and it is a single axon and single dendrites found over there, and they get generally found into the retina, spiral ganglion, olfactory neurons one. On the other hand, if we talk about the pseudo-dipolar, in that particular condition, as you seen in the diagram, the single processor branch into the axon and dendrites, as well as they are especially in spinal ganglions and the mesenteric nucleus. And if we talk about the multipolar, it is singly axon and one dendrites. You can see in the diagram over there, right? So this is the axon over there, and these all are the dendrites are found over there. So we can say these are the different conditions. Means if these dendrites, if this axon, single axon contains the dendrites, that is called the dendrites. Right, and especially they are always common into the cerebral cortex, anterior horn, and the autonomic ganglion are over there. So it can be seen with the help of this one. Then we have to talk about some other things, especially all this, right? So we have to know about the nervous. What about this nervous? Especially if we talk about this nervous, we can say generally nerves. What about this nerve? Generally nerve is a complex bundle of nerve fibers and goes together with the common set of the covering tissues along with the help of the blood vessels, and we can say all the nerve fibers is covered by thin set connective tissue that is called endoneurium, right? They are always attached with the help of endoneurium. And on the other hand, we can say the number of fibers are each covered by its own endometrium, right? So are joined together to form a bundle of called the fasciculus or the fascicles, right? Only on the basis of that they can again classify in different categories, as I have already explained you that the sensory, motor, and the mixed nerve over they are find it over there. Especially the sensory can be always helpful for the bring the message from the one place to another place directly from the sense organ to the other parts of the body, as we can say the sensory nerve, right? Means the motor nerve, which can be acts like an afferent one, it can be always carry the message from the CNS to the part of the body and the affected organs to perform their function. What about this mixed nerve? Especially if we talk about the mixed nerve, it is, we can say, the nerve contains both sensory and the motor. Means generally whenever any nerve contains the both one, that condition they are known as the sensory mixed nerves. Then we have to move next one, that is called the neuroglia. What about this neuroglia? We can say the glia cells. Means it can be always help for the supporting cells which form a packing around the neurons in the brain and the spinal cord and the ganglia. Means these neuroganglia or the ganglia cells can be always helpful for the packaging of our brain, spinal cord and the ganglia. So neuroganglia make up more than one half of the volume of the neural tissues and in our body, as well as we can say these are the different shapes and many types are found over there. Especially if we can talk about their classifications, they can be in different categories. Especially if we known the neuroganglia, especially in the CNS, the astrocytes, oligodendrocytes, and the epinodermal cells and microglia. On the other hand, neuroglia in the peripheral nervous system, they are satellite cells and the Schwann cells, right? So generally they can form over there. So we have to know about especially the neuroglia cells have the various roles like the myelin, formation of the transport of materials to the neurons, maintenance of the ionic balance, and the phagocytosis, so on. On the other hand, we can say neurosecretory cells, which can found over there. These cells can be also have specialized neurons or neuron-like cells which secrete biologically active substances that is effective in other structures, often the different sites. And the neurosecretory cells occur in the hypothalamus, and they can produce the hormone that is called neurohormones over there. So with the help of this we can be understand about all these functions. If we can directly talk about the functions of the neural tissue, right, means we have to know about what about this neural tissue, means what is their functions in our body. So we can directly say that the neural tissue can perform the different types of functions, especially we can say they can always helpful for the development, or we can say they can always help for the coordinates and controls the function of different parts of our body. They can always help for the sensations of the smell, vision, taste, hearing, pain and pleasure. Means without these neural tissues, we cannot find all such type of sensations. We never get the smell, good smell or bad smell. We never find the darkness or the lightness. We never get any taste of any substance. Right? We can't hear anybody's sound. Even we cannot feel our body's pain and our pleasures without this neural tissue. So these are very necessary for all these purposes. Or we can say the neural tissues help in the meditating conscious activities, right? As well as we can say these can always also help for the information about the changes in the different changes, right? Various internal structures provided by the nerve, right? Evenly we can say it can always help to aware about the environmental around us, right? And the nervous tissue can bring all the appropriate responses to each every stimulus. As well as we can say the tissue is also seat of the experiences and memories, etc. Means it can be always helpful, very necessary. So student, as you can already all known about this one, so after that we will going to start the new topic, that is the organization level of different animals. It may be the earthworm, cockroach or the frog, but we will in this year I think there is only one or two animals are found over there, in which we will talk about the morphology and anatomy of these animals. So up to here we have just completed the different structural organization, but later we talk about some other organisms. So students, you must prepare your notes, and if you have still any problem you can ask me. Thank you.